Alright, what we got here today is what I think is the best Buck 119 special ever made. And the reason I say that is this particular Buck 119 is made in 3V steel with the Boss E treat, and it has a straight clip point blade, which gives it the sexiest blade I've ever seen on a Buck fixed blade. Most Buck knives that you buy at Walmart and such have a clip point blade that curves down and comes up. And it makes a very weak point. But this particular Buck, which came out in January 2023 as the Buck of the Month, is a limited production, and it is one of 750 produced exclusive. It has a satin finish, 3V steel blade, like I said, with the straight clip, which I think is just sexy as hell. It is a 1.75 inch thick spine, so plenty beefy, plenty strong, handle any task, and has a 6-inch overall blade length on it. Total knife is 7.5 ounces, and this has come very, very sharp from the factory. You gotta be really careful. One of the sharpest knives I've ever unboxed, and this is about as close as you're gonna get as a handmade Buck 119 special. Now I know there's some pro versions, you're going to say, that have micarta handles and stuff, but you're not going to get this blade. Look at that blade. That's what makes this knife so special. That's why I say it's the best one ever. And I mean, this thing just really is about the right size, right thickness. I mean, you want to go out and kill some zombies right here. This is what you need. Beautiful. At first you might think this handle, it's a bit bulky. But let me tell you, the more you hold it, the more you realize it's just a perfect handle. Fits your hand. Look at I got a large hand. I wear extra large gloves, 2 extra large gloves. It just fits it perfectly. I used to be concerned about the finger guard here, but you know what? It just works. It really does. You can just catch that with your thumb like that, reach over it. You don't need all that chimping. And you do have a ricasso here where you can get your finger up in there if you have to, but you don't really need to, Right here's how you're going to hold that knife, and you're going to work it. And it's just going to lock it in solid. No lanyard tube either, but come on, you really don't need it. That knife just locks in so perfectly. Alright, so let's set that down for a second. And like I said, it's never a knife review unless you show some additional knives. Now this is a very old Buck knife. I've had this since I was a kid. It was my granddad's. This thing is older than I am. If you do the dating on it, you can see that this, the stamp on the blade, it's from the mid-60s, so it's older than me. It had a broken tip, so I lost about 3/16 of the tip off of this. I reshaped it very easily, and this thing, it gets hair-whittling sharp. It's just the old, the previous version of the 440C stainless that they used to use. I don't have that on record right now, but it's an old knife. I cleaned it up the best I could. I still need to find a sheath for it, but it goes nice. It goes nice for that knife. What I'd like to do is I'm waiting for them to come out with a straight clip point Brahma. I'd like to pick up that knife. So anyway, I showed you that knife. Let's look at some knives that we can compare it to. Now this here, this is a Spyderco Temperance 2. Okay. Overall, very close. Very close. The Temperance 2 is a 4 7/8 inch VG10 blade. Okay. Different style knife. Different style knife. This here is probably more for camp chores, slicing and tomatoes and food and cleaning. This one here, you know, it's can do everything you need it to do, but I would consider this more of a tactical knife. If I need to pick a stick or stick a pig, I'm gonna pick this knife. If I'm gonna be cleaning a pig, I'd probably pick this knife. Okay. And let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, that's the wrong sheath. This is actually the sheath for the 119. Let me show you that real quick. It's got this. I mean, this is no different than the knife you get at Walmart. It's just a little bit nicer sheath. It's a different color. It's got the distressed leather. You know, it goes in there. It's not going to come out. You know. So let's put that back up here where we can see it nice and pretty. Alright, here's a Spyderco Bow River. This Bow River has a 4.4 inch blade, and it is another stainless steel blade. Some kind of HCR 13 MOV. You know, a lot smaller knife. This is something, you know, clean a fish with or something like that. Alright. Now, look at this. Prather Warbury Bowie. Can't speak today. Now that is a 7.25 inch blade. Okay? Everybody say, man, that's a monster right there. That's a monster. But, you know, really, look at this. This knife could do everything this knife could do. No problem. It's got better steel. It's half the weight. This Prather is 14.4 ounces. Right? Once again, 7.5 ounces. Right? 3V steel. Yeah, that is just a nice piece. Yeah, this is the only buck I really had my whole life, and it wasn't because I didn't like bucks. I liked the look of them, the shape of them. When I was a kid, I thought the buck, you know, that was just the model. I used to look at the hardware stores in the case, and they'd have the buck knives in there, and just the look of the black handle and the finger guard with the red and black spacers, you know. This one's got the red and black spacers, the older one does. I just thought it was the most gorgeous knife there was, but what kept me from buying it was that real upswept clip point that you see on most models. And that's why I was so happy when I saw this knife. And I finally decided that is the buck for me. This buck, you're not going to break that tip off of. It is just as beefy as it needs to be. Alrighty. So, yeah, big old knife like that's cool. That's a better knife. That's it on the buck. Thanks for viewing.